All right, am I back? Okay, I'm back. Where was I? Um.
Of hopelessness. Conservatives.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was talking about how conservatives usually run, and they usually run with, you gotta have the free choice. You want that free choice, okay? Healthcare doesn't work because it takes away your choice, even though it doesn't. But it takes away your choice for you being able to choose your best healthcare. Except for the fact that they don't really have a choice because the best healthcare is super fucking expensive and they can't afford it, and the worst possible healthcare is their only option. So they don't really have a choice in that. But they make it seem like you have that choice, right? They make it seem like you have the choice to work wherever you want. So fuck unions. Like, get the unions out of here because you should have that choice at your job. Except for the fact that without unions, companies have the leverage to drive your wages down because there's no body of workers advocating for your higher wage. So the reason why unions work is because they walk over to the company and go, hey, we have 30,000 workers ready to work. If you want them to work for you, you have to pay them this amount of money. And then the company's going to say, well, yeah, I need those workers. And they agree to the price and work. But if it's each individual walk in the building, they don't really know what they're worth because it might be their first job, whatever. And the company just goes, we're going to pay you $7 an hour. And you're like, that sounds pretty good. And then you agree to it. That was the problem with esports, is that these fucking kids had no idea what the fuck they were doing. So they walked over to the pro teams, and they're like, please sign this contract. We're going to give you $2,000 a month. It's like, okay, $2,000 a month sounds pretty good. Because it is pretty good to them, because that's the only wage they've ever known is $2,000 a month. Like maybe McDonald's wage, which is like less than that. So $2,000 a month sounds fucking great. But the rest of the contract says that everything you do and your face is owned by us. You can't even make your own merch. It's our merch. You can't make profit off of merch. You can't use any other platform. You can't stream. You can't do like. So that's like how conservatives advocate for stuff is choice. You gotta have that choice, guys. But in reality, people suck shit at making choices. Okay, or they don't have the choice. So for schooling, right? Like why Steven Crowder advocates for vouchers, school vouchers, and like school choice is that he thinks that the people in the poor fucking neighborhood have the ability to go that extra, like, so the people in the poor neighborhood have the shitty school that's a kilometer away, walking distance away, so their kids go there. And they're forced to go there because of like the current system. So Steven Crowder advocate for vouchers as if that family is just going to be able to magically be able to go the extra 30 kilometers or 25 kilometers or 10 kilometers to the better school in town. Like, what the fuck? Like, no, that's if they're forced to walk to school, they're going to walk to the nearest fucking school. They're not going to go to the better school. They would love to, but they can't. They physically can't do it because they're not going to walk 10K every day. I mean, you could. I mean, he would go on to argue, well, you should walk 10K every day because if you're not, then you're just dumb. Okay, you're spending too much money, right? Like that's where the whole argument of, oh, poor people are just stupid. Oh, poor people are just like, okay, but why are poor people dumb? Is it because their schooling systems in their neighborhood are funded with their property taxes, and since they're dumb and poor, they have a shitty property tax, so their schools get funded like garbage. So then they have lower quality education. So it's impossible for them to get educated to make more, to not be dumb anymore, right? Okay, fucking Jesus. Oh, and then like fuck, what did I just do again? I don't know.
Have to campaign on, hey, anyone can make it in America. You're good enough. Democrats and so.
Except for the fact that you're not. That's the problem. You advocate like that, but it turns out that it's not true. Not every American has the ability to make it in the market. Like
Socialists.
But then that's like, they're like, oh, well, that sucks. Pull up by your bootstraps.
But I repeat myself, have to campaign on, you can't make it. You're not good enough. Others are going to win, you'll lose, and none of it is in your control because
that's true.
it's all a part of the system.
Yep, it is. So we want to reduce that, okay? We don't want to just give you free money. I'm not even a socialist, but I'm just going to argue on the social, like, well, Bernie Sanders isn't even, like, his policies don't point towards socialism. Regardless, sock Dems, myself included, we don't want to, like, make it so that everybody's even and everyone makes the same amount of money. We just want to give money to other people. We want to make it accessible for all people to move up and down the ladder. If you, like, we want to make it as close as possible to an unbiased dropping in or out of, like, your own choice as to whether you succeed or fail in the system, right? We want to make it as close to that as possible. Currently, so let's take it with the schooling, right? You're advocating that everybody has the opportunity to make it in America. But that's just not true when the school in your district, the only school you can go to, is poorly funded because you, as a family, are poor and your neighborhood is poor and the school is funded off of property taxes. So the school you're going to, the first step into moving up the economic ladder is already garbage. And there's no way you can get a better education than that because that school is shit. So where are you going to learn? Like, where are you going to get your better education from? Your parents? That's not going to fucking happen because they are in the same position you were. They grew up in this shitty fucking neighborhood, and maybe even they were part of fucking Jim Crow laws if you were a black person in these communities, because that's the majority of people in those communities. Oh, fucking dude. You have no idea. He makes me like, welcome to the club, my dude. Holy fuck. Steven Crowder, honestly, dude. Him, Ben Shapiro, like, I feel like sympathetic towards Dave Rubin, right? He's just an idiot. But Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro, oh my god. It's like painful. It's straight up painful. Like, go back in the VOD and watch the rest of this shit. Holy nutsack, dude. If you stay around, though, I'll go through more videos with you if you want. Because I just need people in the crowd. People in the audience.
It is a selfish appeal.
Like, he just went over. Like, you could go back to the VOD. But he just went over how... We'll go over it. Fuck it.
About their opportunities in future. Yeah. Socialists can only remain in power by convincing the entire population of hopelessness. Conservatives have to campaign on, hey, anyone can make it in America. You're good enough.
Okay, so now let's decipher those two sides. Let's say it's true. Like, let's say it's true that socialists have to go upon hopelessness, that you can't make it in the society, blah blah blah. Okay, well, it's true about conservatives. It's hope, like, you're advocating as if you can move through the economic ladder when it's just not true. Like, you live in a shitty neighborhood, so you got low, like, schools in the United States are funded through property taxes. So if you live in a shitty neighborhood, your school is shit. Okay? Your first step in moving up the economic ladder is education. That's the number one step, is getting an education. And you can't do that with a fucking poorly funded school. Now, Steven made this other video saying that that's not true, that poorly funded schools don't have bad education. Which it's just pure, like, stupidity. Like, what do you fucking mean a poorly funded school isn't affected by education? Like, what the hell are you talking about? And I think he went on to say, like, teachers or whatever. It's like, bro, if the school is shittily funded, it's not going to pay their teachers that much. So why would a good teacher want to work there? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Plus, like, other reasons, right? Like, a school in Detroit versus a school in New York. The cities are completely different. Of course, a person would rather live in New York than fucking Detroit, right? Like, what? Not to rip on Detroit or anything, but, like, come on. Like, what do you fucking mean? So, yeah, you're also, if you're, as with your conservative thing.
Conservatives have to campaign on, hey, anyone can make it in America. You're good enough.
Like, that is just untrue. You as an individual... Exactly. That is the biggest problem with fucking conservatives, is that I've been sitting here for 2 hours running through a 15-minute video. That's the huge problem with conservatives. This video is fucking 15 minutes long, and I've taken 2 fucking hours out of my day to go through it all. There's, like, if you go through my clips on YouTube and stuff like that, you'll find that I have, like, a 5-hour video on a fucking 20-minute clip from Michael Knowles. Because the things they say just don't even connect to the real problems in the society. It's fucking unbelievable. Like here, for example, with the whole choice thing. Do you actually unironically think that every single person knows their value and is, like, properly educated on how how business works and stuff like that. And like, do you honestly like? I'm pretty sure he unironically thinks in his character of Steven Crowder. I don't think hopefully he doesn't actually think this in real life. He's just trying to make money, right? That you can just unironically throw money into the stock market and you'll get a good return. Like, no, you need to have an education on how the stock market works. And there's no fucking way a shitty school in a shitty neighborhood will teach you about the stock market. Like, why the fuck would they do that? And like this whole choice thing, like get rid of the unions because you as an individual have the right to choose your job. It's like, yeah, you do. The problem is that most people, especially if it's their first job, have no fucking idea what they're worth. This is true in esports. When esports started taking off, the kids who were very good at League of Legends or very good at CSGO got into horrifying contracts, fucking like ending their careers because they were offered $2,000 a week, $2,000 a month. Because to a kid who's fresh out of high school, hasn't even gone to college, $2,000 a month is awesome. They've never made that much money. It's great. But they don't read the rest of the contract because they have no idea how that works because they were never educated on it. So they sign this contract, and it turns out that in the rest of the contract, it says it states that their face is like owned by the team, so they can't sell any of their own merch. They can't use Twitch to. This was true with the announcers. Announcers could not use Twitch to get a crowd or to get a fan base, so they couldn't increase their value because obviously a Twitch an announcer for League of Legends would want more money if they're making X amount of dollars on a Twitch stream that they do in their pastime as a hobby, right? Like that's how you increase your value in the gaming community is by running a Twitch stream or running a YouTube channel. But these kids who just got fresh out of college and are really good at video games weren't allowed to do that because of their contract. So they're stuck at a shitty wage job because of this. What up, Tall? And it's just like the fucking most statistic thing. Okay. I'm okay with the legalizing all drugs part. Probably not the drinking and driving part. And maybe not the war against Chile. I don't know why you want to do that. But like this fucking simplistic answer for each question is, it's the dumbest thing ever. Like how can you unironically think that, right? Like what's the other simplistic answer to a question? Oh, the fucking, like why you're poor. Like, oh, well, you're just stupid. Yeah, exactly. Like, if you're, I'm 100% down for legalizing all drugs because it would end the drug war as long as there's proper education. Like, if you go out and buy cocaine, there should be a description on the back of, like, the consequences of using cocaine. Exactly. You do have the right to overdose as long as it's not, like, you have the right to take whatever drugs you are as long as you're not harming others, right? So, like, let's say you're fucking hyped up on meth and you punch somebody in the face. You get charged for punching them in the face, not for being hyped up on meth. It's like this. There's actually, on this fucking topic, Steven Crowder made a fucking video where he was saying that he was basically dog whistling that the reason Japan and Germany were evil was because they were on coke and meth. Oh my god. Like the Comic-Con, like the only reason Pearl Harbor happened was because all of the Japanese people were hyped up on cocaine. Yeah, the cocaine caused them to drive into the ships and blow them up. You're right. That's right. They were only fascist because fucking, what was his name? What was the leader of China? Or Japan? Emperor fucking, what's his nuts? That wasn't him. Hirohito. Fuck, it was Hirohito. Hirohito was just hyped up on cocaine. That's the only reason he went to war. He's like, all this land, it's a great place to grow cocaine. Well, what do you mean by that? Because it's like, I think I agree with you on like what you use and do, but like what do you mean? Because like, I have a hard time with opioids, right? Because it's like, those could be demonstrably harmful to other people. And what do you mean? Like if the government is smaller, so are you also saying that there shouldn't be any help for those who are addicted? So I'm okay with legalizing all drugs as long as there's a healthy system for you getting out of the addiction if you are addicted, and like a plethora of education material on how to use the drugs, how to take them, how to not overdose, what to do to get over the hangover, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, sure. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, they shouldn't just be like, crack's addictive, make it illegal. Like, because then you would have to extend that to coffee, tobacco, alcohol. Like, right? If you're gonna make those drugs legal, you have to make the rest of them legal too. So I'm on your side with that. But I would like there to be government involvement in like the rehabilitation of those who use drugs. Only should have the right to defend us from a foreign threat. Really? Like, are you saying that, like, are you just super libertarian? Like, the government shouldn't be involved in anything we do, so no social network, no social safety net, I should say. So, like, are you against, like, schooling, like, public schooling and stuff like that, too? Are you uber libertarian? Anarchy? Are you an anarcho-capitalist? I've been ripping on you for the past 5 minutes. Fuck, I'm out of coffee. Are you a libertarian that just wants to smoke weed and have everyone... Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can agree with you on some stuff, but the problem is that we need some form of government involvement in stuff so that we don't get fucked. Because, yeah, I agree with you that the government should be out of stuff like drugs. And, like they shouldn't be telling us what to consume. To an extent, because, they should make suggestions, right? Like, the government is probably okay with suggesting you don't do cocaine. Because, well, that's what I'm saying. Like I would advocate for legalization of all drugs as long as there's healthy education on what's wrong with all of them. So alcohol, tobacco, caffeine, cocaine, meth, marijuana. Like, make sure that on any box and container that you buy, there's a description of what the fuck you're going to be going through. THC. Well, THC is weed. What the fuck was I thinking of? Acid, Molly. What the hell is the... LSD. That's it. Fuck. Do you mean, like, public health care? Because in the States that doesn't exist. If you're Canadian, then that does exist for a good reason. Because it turns out that private health insurance fucking sucks nutsack. Because so here's the main problem with privately funded health insurance. Basically, you're treating your health as a commodity that can be bartered, which is not true. If you're a health insurance company and you say, like, you can, what ends up happening, here's the extreme. Hey, I have cancer. Can you help me out with this? I can't afford to well, basically this is how it goes. This is not like, because you can't really do that. In the States you do? I'm not really sure. Like, you should have, you get fined for not having, well, you get fined by paying for all the shit, right? Or is that you're talking about Canada? Because Canada, yeah, you need to have the health insurance because it takes away the bargaining power from the government. I mean, I don't know why you wouldn't want health insurance. If you're talking in the States, for not having health insurance, I'm not really sure how you getting fined would happen, because it'd be much more of a burden for you just having to pay for all your stuff. But anyways, back to my point of why single payer healthcare. I'm from Canada, so I have the single payer healthcare system, which is slowly falling because more and more politicians want to introduce a privatized system into their provinces, which is fucking garbage. And essentially, where I was going with the point is that a privatized system sucks because if you look at the extreme, let's say that your parents, removing the shitty system of pre-existing condition, right? Because most insurance companies will deny you because your parents had cancer at one point in their lives. So therefore, you're predisposed to have cancer. So I'm not going to give you health insurance. So let's say that health insurance like that doesn't exist because it shouldn't. I think we can all agree that insurance companies shouldn't have the right to just remove your fucking health care because you had a pre-existing condition. That's really fucking weird. That makes almost no sense because where are you from in the States? I guess maybe I'm not because that Because isn't the point? Like, doesn't Steven Crowder want you to remove health insurance because or wants you to have, I don't know. All I know is that you guys should move to a single payer healthcare system because of this point, which I'm trying to get to. Fuck. Which is that if you move to the extreme and your parents had cancer, so you think that one day you will also have cancer. So you go, you buy health insurance to help you with your potential of getting cancer in the future. You're not really going to have that great of a bargaining power because you're going to die, right? The insurance company's going to say, yeah, you have to pay us $5,000 a month for the health insurance. And you're like, fuck, I can't really afford that. It's like, okay, well, you're just not going to deal with it. And it's like, well, I can't really go without health insurance because I'm pretty sure I'm going to get cancer. And it's like, oh, well, you're either going to die or you're going to get our health insurance. So what ends up happening is that you're forced to pay the $5,000 a month because you might end up getting cancer at one point, and that's like death, right? You're bargaining with death, which is impossible to do. Of course, the insurance companies are going to get as much money as possible out of you because you're bargaining with fucking death. Like, get this or die. It's like, well, I think I'm going to get it. It's like, well, it's $10,000. It's like, well, that's really expensive. Yeah, I know it's really expensive, but you're willing to die? Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. So Obamacare was trying to implement a single-payer healthcare system. It was really flawed because it was bipartisan. But the reason that you would get fined for not having it is for like the same reasons as why you need it in Canada and why it's illegal for a private clinic to exist in Canada. Well, no, sorry. The clinics can be private, but you can't have private insurance in Canada. Because essentially what happens is that the Obamacare loses bargaining power the less people are on the plan. So this is how the system in Canada works. We get our drugs from companies at like a fraction of the price you get your drugs from companies because Canada can go up to the drug company and go, hey, we need this drug. We're going to pay you this amount of money for it. And the company will go, yeah, we'll make maybe profit off it. Maybe they won't profit off it. Maybe we'll make 2% profit off of it. Then Canada will go, all right, we're going to pay this for it because if you don't accept that, you're losing 30 million people in like consumers, right? Does that make sense? I think I explained that wrong. Basically, Canada has the bargaining power of 30 million people behind it. And that's why we get our drugs for so cheap. Because as if a drug company is going to deny 30 million people in revenue. Like what? That's the point of unions. That's why in Denmark there's no minimum, or in Scandinavian countries there's no minimum wage, because the unions are so powerful that they can go to a company and say, you're going to pay our workers this, and the company will obviously say yes, because if they don't say yes, they're not running a business. So that's probably why you would get fined for not having Obamacare, is because Obamacare will lose its bargaining power, so it needs that extra money to fund healthcare for the rest of the people on Obamacare. So as long as you just take part in Obamacare, you won't get fined and you'll have care. The problem is that right now it's getting fucking gutted by Trump, so it has even less bargaining power. You get it? We on the same page here?
Democrats and socialists but I repeat myself,
I'll wait for you to respond first until I go back into this game. Obama really wanted the U.S. citizens to be... What? I don't know. I'm answering a text and looking at customers of the insurance. Yeah, because that's how single payer works, right? So I know you're libertarian, so it may be hard for you to agree to this, but undeniably, a single payer system is better than your free market system or close to free market system in the United States. You may think it's better that you have the choice of going to any sort of insurance companies, but you have to realize that you don't really have that choice. And when you move to the extremes, it becomes more apparent. Like I was saying, if you have cancer, you're not going to be able to bargain with the insurance companies to get your care. You're going to take, like, you have cancer and you need care. Like, you got cancer for some fucking reason. Could be any reason. But you now have cancer and you need care and you can't afford it. You can't afford direct care from the hospitals, so you move on to insurance companies to hopefully get it slightly cheaper. The insurance company is going to try to get as close to the stock price of the care as possible because you have no bargaining power because you're either going to die or get the care. So let's say the base price of getting cancer treatment is $100,000. Get out of here. Let's say the base price of getting health care is $100,000. And welcome back, buddy. I haven't seen you in a long time. Let's say the base. Sorry, I'm fucking moving on. Let's say the base price of getting cancer treatment is $100,000. You can't afford that, so you move to an insurance company, and the insurance company is going to try to get as close to $100,000 as possible because you have no bargaining power because you're either going to die or pay $100,000. But the insurance company wants to make profit too, so they're going to offer that care for $95,000, let's say, or whatever. So you're going to obviously take that because it's $5,000 cheaper, and if you don't take it, you're going to fucking die. I mean, if you're educated enough, no, that's okay. You can. You have every right to do surgery on yourself. But good luck. Yeah, like hopefully we can all agree here that single payer healthcare system is a better system than whatever the fuck the United States has. Can we at least like get on that stepping stone? Please.
After campaign.
I want to get back to this video too. What else we got? What's going on? But welcome back. Awesome. Welcome back, Crowder, because I haven't seen you in a while, buddy. And eating your ass. Just gotta stop eating my ass, okay? All I ask. Fuck. Okay, can I get through this video first and then we can move on to that? Please stick around. I want to see what the fuck the last bit of this video is. So I'm going to go through that, and then we could talk about healthcare if you want. You could actually join my Discord if you really want to talk about it.
You can't make it. You're not good enough. Others are going to win. You'll lose, and none of it is in your control because it's all a part of the system. It is a selfish, simply make it with. There's no hope for you. You lost hope long before you made that walk to the ballot box.
Okay. This is. I'd rather communicate with my crowd. All right. So do you want to hop into Discord, buddy? I'll give you the Discord link if you want to hop in Discord and have a real conversation. I'll need water first, but we could do text chat if you want. It just takes longer, right? Because of the delay. Okay, no problem. I'm just letting you know that it's available, right? Anyone here can come in and talk to me if they want to. Anyone else have any questions right now? Do you got more questions? You can just ask them. We could just go through text chat. I'm okay with that. It'd just be obviously simpler with voice chat. I'm trying to foster a crowd here. Spread the word, guys. I need to get to 10 viewers, okay? A buddy of mine said it was hard to get to 10 viewers for, Yo, thanks for the follow, buddy. Where the fuck is the What? Oh, no. Here, hold on. There you go. Oh, it was behind the... Fuck. Left monitor. down here. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that, buddy. You get the notification to come on screen now. Do I want to put it in the top over here? Here, let's run you again. Yeah, we'll do that. That looks better. Bernie Sanders, to me, is the best candidate running right now in the United States. I'm not 100% sure I would vote for him if he was Canadian, because obviously in Canada he's more of like a moderate. We have a lot of the systems he's already advocating for. And I'm not sure how applicable his taxation system would be in Canada, right? But he's a candidate I would vote for. He's like more of a moderate in Canada. So there's nothing wrong with him. In the States, he is definitely 100% the best candidate to vote for. And we can go through that if need be. But essentially the base is that if you watch the Fox News town hall, a lot of what he said is agreed upon by most of the nation, right? It was a Fox News town hall. Most people in the crowd would have been Fox News viewers, and he got them to chant like Medicare for all and stuff like that. So yeah, Bernie Sanders is one of the better candidates running right now, if not the best candidate running right now. Where do I want to put that? Sorry, I'm just moving my donation buttons around. Basically, all of his policies are very populist. Most of the population agrees with healthcare, higher taxation on the wealthy, schooling, I think. I don't know how much he's going with schooling. So what specific ideas do you think won't work? Because we can run through them one by one. Oh, not Ted Cruz, dude. Ted Cruz is super uber slimy, dude. So here's my problem with Ted Cruz. Basically, he doesn't really... I haven't watched him in a while, but he kind of doesn't stand for anything, right? All of them? Okay, well, fuck. If you want to label one of them, we can run through them. Like, one of them... Like, I know all of them, but just to get a conversation going, we just say one of them and we could bolt off on that to explanation. But let me first go with Ted Cruz. So Ted Cruz, the problem with him is that he's very slimy, right? He doesn't really understand the problems with the United States. Fuck, I haven't listened to him in a while at this point. So I'm trying to go back onto his points. Okay, sorry about the Ted Cruz thing. I just haven't listened to him in a while. But we'll go with Medicare for all. So, first, all other developed nations in the world have some form of single-payer system, or some form of Medicare system. Be it nationalization, that's the UK, they've nationalized their healthcare. Be it single-payer, which is like Canada and places like France. And then there's Germany, which have a mixed market system, so the steps, I think, go, there's the American system at the bottom, then there's the mixed market system, then there's the single-payer system. I think there's one more system in between, and then there's the nationalization. Okay? All the other systems are provably better than the American system of near free market system. And plus, people like Steven Crowder would advocate for a full free market system to healthcare. First, let's go into why a full capitalist system of healthcare would be wrong. I went over it a little bit, but essentially the basis of why a free market system for healthcare wouldn't work is that you are bargaining with your life. Imagine there's a gun to your head, and the dude wants all of your money, or you'll get shot and die. You're not going to try to talk to him like, oh, I can only give you $50K, okay? I only have $50,000. Like, I have $100,000, but I'm only going to give you $50,000 because that's all I can afford. You're going to give him all your fucking money. Yeah, but the free market doesn't, like, work for healthcare because, again, you're bargaining with your life. You don't have any bargaining power if you're going to die. Okay. I mean, if that's your stance, then I can't really argue with you would rather die than give all your money. because it doesn't matter, right? If you get shot in the head, all your money's gone because you're dead. So then he just takes it. So, I'm starting to think a little on the troll side, but I like you anyways because you're fucking delicious. You feel good, you know what I'm saying? Let me turn off this monitor. So yeah, like, I mean, if you're willing to just take the bullet instead of paying the money, then, I mean, I guess you just don't value your life, which is fine. It's pretty nihilistic. But I can't really argue against it, right? So free education. So now, I believe Bernie Sanders is just advocating for like college, like lower level colleges. Maybe he's advocating for the entire thing. I personally wouldn't agree with complete and total free education because there's kind of a, it's kind of like a Granian, right? Like, you don't, like, it's weird. If basically I wouldn't agree with like the full free education. The way I would do it is that it seems as though right now, at least in Canada, a high school education does not equip you for life. You can't, in Canada, this is more of like just Canada, but I think it's true in the United States, especially since they have a lower wealth disparity than in Canada. In Canada right now, it's nearly impossible for you to get a career out of a high school education. You need to go to college. So if that's true in the United States as well, which I'm pretty sure it is, I don't have direct facts on it, but I'm pretty sure it's true that you need at least a college education. Then it's like the reason why K through 12 is free is because it's been deemed that is a minimal standard for your education to move on and take part in the system, right? To move up the ladder. Ignoring the yeah, so cool. So we're getting there. So ignoring like how schooling is funded in the United States, the reason why in Canada and the United States K through 12 is free is because in the past that was enough for you to get an for you to have a career and pay for a family. But now, if you don't have a college degree, good luck getting a career. Good fucking luck. It's nearly impossible. Even trades jobs want you to get, like, you would just go from high school to the apprenticeship. They now want you to have that college education first, then work for them for a year, then take the apprenticeship. That's how it works in Canada right now with 90% of apprenticeship jobs. So with that in mind, for myself, I say that college level education, because in Canada, college and then there's university. University is typically a higher level of education than college. So I would say that at least college education should be free, the same as K through 12, because it seems that is now the minimum required for you to get a job. After that, feel free to pay for whatever you want. So for myself, here's like an anecdote of myself. Part of me wants to go into politics, and I have a thing called OSAP, which would help with tuition costs. Before Doug Ford, my current premier, made cuts, I was leaning towards taking a political science course at the University of Guelph because I could afford it if I had the OSAP. But he made a cut to the OSAP, so I don't think I can actually afford to go into the political sciences. Maybe that's not a big deal because there's not a huge job market for that, and it's more, well, I would say that politics is a pretty, like, should be free because everyone should be taking part in politics. So there's like some lines as to what should be free and not. That's why I would advocate for a system like that I have in Ontario, which is OSAP, which is the Ontario Student Application Partnership, I think. Basically, you get grants. So it was 60-40 was the split. You would get 60% of your tuition, or 60% of the money you got would be grants, and 40% of it would be loans that you have to pay back later. I got, for my current schooling at college, for machining. So right now I'm in a college program for machining, mainly CNC machining. Well, I'm actually done that. I'm moving into another program for mechanical engineering technician for the next 3 years. I got $10,000. I'm not sure what I'm going to get next because I haven't been able to put in my thing. So I got $10K. 6 of that was grants. Well, I got $10K 2 years, so I got $20K. So 12 of that was grants, and 8 of that is loans that I'll have to pay back later. At university, because my brother went to Guelph for something, he got 14 grand, I think, in OSAP, which would be split 60-40, but he still needed to owe like 5 extra K on top of that. So right now he's in debt by 5K plus the loans that he'll have to pay back later, but right now he's missing $5,000. So right now he's going to a job at a Honda plant nearby, working in the summer. So the higher education, the sociology, whatever the fuck course he's running in, cost him more, which I think is fine because it's not exactly like a mandatory job. What I'm doing is I plan on, and how I think it could work, is that you get a minimum job out of college. So for me, it's CNC. The problem is, like, what is a minimum job? Because most people don't want to do CNC or machining, right? So it's like, what is a minimum job? And politics could be a minimum job. So that's why I think, like, political science could be a free course to take because, you know, it could be a minimum job for some people. So for me, I'm taking CNC. Hopefully I'll get into the job, make some money, and then after that I can go back to university for something else. It's like part of the plan. Be it political science. If not, whatever. It could be anything. But, like, set up yourself for a minimal job that you can fall back on. So if politics for me doesn't work, let's say I don't run this channel, like this channel doesn't blow up, whatever, stuff like that. Well, this Twitch channel. Let's say this doesn't blow up, I don't have enough views, I don't make money off of this. I have the fallback in the trades to make good money and run a family. And that was given to me pretty much for free besides like $8 grand. It's very, very minimal cost. In the States, that is totally blown up proportion. Any fucking course in the United States has an extremely high loan cost and is totally unaffordable for 99% of U.S. citizens. So I believe that should be, reduced, if not eliminated, for at least college-level courses. I know in the States it works a little differently because college is encompassing of all post-secondary schooling. But yeah, it should be free because it turns out that nowadays college-level education is the minimum required to get a career. And I do believe that you should have access to any kind of career, right? So, like I was saying with the not everybody wants to be a CNC machinist or a manual machinist. So they should have access to becoming an artist. So like artistry is pretty hard, right? Because it's very, very subjective. So artistry is kind of hard to, like, I would advocate more heavily for any kind of art classes to be free because it's such a hard market to actually succeed in. So I'm okay. I think it's morally acceptable that we pay a little bit extra in taxes just so that people can have access to that sort of education and access to that market. Even though if it's a very difficult market to get into, some people want to do that, and I believe it's morally right for us to give access to those people. So yeah, like my job that I'm into is very beneficial to the economy because it's a machining job. It directly goes into the market because I'm making shit, right? So yeah, that's my spiel on education. If you're still around. He was at work, so maybe he's got fired at this point. So yeah, I don't know if that guy's still here. I want him to be here.